Greetings and salutations, YouTube. Friar Chuck here, and I am back with the newest character in our Skyrim universe. This is Wolfric. He is a Nord. He's not just a Nord, but we'll get into that. I have got a backstory for him, so let me give it a little read for you guys. How long has it been? Years? Decades? Centuries? How long have I been trapped in this god's forsaken ice? Once upon a time, I was the most powerful man in Skyrim. Well, man may be a generous term. I am a vampire. Along with being the former lord of Castle Volkihar, I was also a very powerful vampire lord. Despite all of my power, I made one fatal mistake: not giving patronage to the Lord of Domination, Molag Bal. One of my subjects, however, did, a Nord by the name of Harkon. He is, or at least was, a fanatic. He used his relationship with Molag Bal to betray me and trap me in layers of enchanted ice. My powers are nowhere near where they need to be, but I will have my revenge on Harkon. So, doing a little bit of headcanoning here, I understand. I I understand that it is heavily implied, or maybe straight up says that Harkon is the progenitor of the Volkihar blood. Well, actually, he's really not. It's technically Molag Bal is the progenitor of the bloodline, and he gave it to Harkon, and then Harkon kind of spread his seed. That sounds gross. He gave his gift to the other members in his court. But I'm going off of the idea that he wasn't actually the original Volkihar. That's just what he's telling people. Um, and we're gonna say, for the purposes of this, that he is actually the only one left alive from that time. Besides green water. Besides Serana and Valerica, and they're obviously not going to argue the point, or wouldn't have argued the point. Pretty sure there's a fire spring in here. Yeah, so he got greedy, wanted more power, and so he used his relationship with Molag Bal, which of course he would have had because Valerica and Serana were both daughters of Cold Harbor, and he used that to help him take over as the Lord of the Castle. Molag Bal would have been very happy to do it because he's the Lord of Domination, and so he wants to take over and overthrow where he can. And so that, to me, is a perfect example. Again, like I said, we're headcanoning a little bit because it's obviously Harkon is supposed to be the original Lord of Castle Volkihar, but I kind of liked this idea. I thought it made for a neat character, kind of a banished vampire, and it really allows us to play into, like, okay, well, if he's a vampire, he starts off as a vampire, why is he so friggin' weak? Well, it's because he's been trapped in enchanted ice, which of course is Stalrim. He's been trapped in Stalrim for... What is here? Huh. Didn't know there'd be ash spawn here. He was trapped in Stalrim for a very long time. Wait, hold on. Okay, no, that just only kind of hit me. I guess. I figured it would have done more damage, but oh well. But yeah, we are a vampire. I used some mods to go ahead and add that in, and besides that, we are running some other vampire mods. I believe I'm running Sacrilege, not Sacrosanct. Sacrilege is just like the smaller version of Sacrosanct. It's like Sacrosanct Light. What? the hell? I did not know lurkers would just pop out at you. Alright, well, time to go. Um, and, yeah, uh, Wolfric is not a coward. He's also very smart and has a high sense of self preservation. So he understands that it has been a long time since he's fed, and he is very weak. Um, so, with that in mind, the odds of him being able to take on basically anything are not good. So, he is 100% sticking to the water, and we'll go from there. Wolfric's main goal, obviously, is to gain back the power that he once had. That being in several ways. He wants back his title as Lord of Castle Volkihar. He wants back the magical and physical capabilities he had as a true vampire lord. Um, and he really wants the power, the respect that he had on his name. In my mind, like, Harkin is not well known, um, and the Volkihar vampires aren't really well known at all. They're just kind of an afterthought. In my mind, when Wolfric was in charge, they knew. People knew about the Volkihar vampires. They were very afraid of them, but they also had really high. He also had really high political standing in Skyrim. Um, I haven't really worked out the timeline. I don't know how old Harkin is supposed to be exactly. I'm under the assumption he's the oldest creature in Skyrim. I mean, besides like Parthenax, and but okay, the oldest humanoid creature in Skyrim. I think that's a fairly safe assumption. So there are ash hoppers here. Thanks. Um, sacrilege does give us a few extra things as a vampire, because if we're being realistic, base game vampires are kind of um, kind of bad. There's not really hardly any benefit to being one. Um, so it gives some change. It changes some things in the vampire lord tree, and also gives us a few extra additional benefits being a vampire, which I will go over as soon as we get into a place that is safer, being Raven Rock. Yes, I've already discovered it. I had to do some weird things to kind of spawn where we were. Um, so, Sacrilege. Active effects. Let's just go from top to bottom. Champion of the Night. Your Vampiric Charm improves your illusion spells to work on targets up to 15 levels higher. Um, Fierce Hunger. Able to feed on sleeping or seduced people to sate your vampiric hunger or lethally drain them. Your Vampiric Curse weakens Divine Blessings by 75%. I think it'd be neat if it like actually hurt you. We are under the sign of the lady to give us 20 extra health points and 25% faster magic regen. Your vampiric blood makes you 50% less susceptible to healing spells and effects. Mysticism is a secondary spell from our class that we chose. Night Stalker's Footsteps. Your vampiric blood makes you 15% harder to detect by creatures and people while sneaking, which is really nice. Nordic Strength grants 25%. That's not from a vampire. That's not important. Your Nord Heritage grants 10% chance to bottle a potion of blood or thaumaturgy when looting people you killed. That is from Sacrilege. It happens. We're at Nord. We have immunity to disease. We have a 50% resistance to frost. We also have a 50% resistance to frost from being a Nord. In Skyrim, though, you can't be completely resistant to anything unless it just straight up says immunity. I think it caps at 80%. We'll find out. We're also 100% resistant to poison. Unnatural strength gives us 10% increased movement speed and 5% increased attack damage. We are a vampire, but just a regular vampire right now. We have water breathing, and we're also protected from sunlight while submerged. We have a 20% weakness to fire, and health, magicka, and stamina do not recover while in sunlight and are reduced by 15 points. And our class is a spell sword, meaning weapons deal 20% more damage. when wielding both a spell and a one-handed weapon. Powers. Vampire Scream. Living targets within range flee for 10 seconds and can be seen through walls. Vampire Seduction. Bewitches a person up to level 10 for 10 seconds, calming them and allowing you to feed. Become invisible and sneak 25% better for 30 seconds. Expend some of your blood to protect yourself against sunlight for 30 seconds. Improve night vision. And yeah, that's really it. Actually, let's. We also have good old vampire drain, which is improved with some other mods. And frostbite. Our whole thing is gonna be basically the blood spells and frost magic. He's got to look very. Okay, that's a little bit better. We do have armor now. As for our skills as a spell sword, we have bonuses to destruction, restoration, alteration, and enchanting. And then bonuses to heavy armor, which we're not going to be using. One-handed, and that's it. We will be using one-handed, light armor, destruction, alteration, enchanting, and I gotta see is. Yes, okay. Necromage is in this. We are using the Valkyrie perks. Necromage is in it, so we will be hopefully taking advantage of that. But we're a little broke, so we gotta make some money if we want to get off of this island, which we need to because we will die.
I'd be on the everything I've got on display, really.
Keep the sword. Still our rags. We'll also work on our smithing because I do think he values crafting abilities because he's a Nord, and is a true Nord at heart, so that's not
If you need any supplies, you know where to find me.
unrealistic to say that. We'll just keep kind of looking around here. I do want to save. So yeah, we'll just keep working through our vampiric abilities, and eventually we'll become stronger and stronger, and we will become a vampire lord. Eventually, we are not at the moment. Thank you. And that actually levels up our destruction. It's kind of nice. And we are now sated. The only reason we're in Solstheim is I feel like Harkin wanted to kind of just shove him as far away as he could. And perhaps Molag Bal said, hey, there's lots of storeroom here, let's use this, and it won't be out of place. When you're doing this quest, I highly recommend either doing an amulet or circlet, doesn't matter which one, but each one of them is worth more than the ring, so you'll get more out of it.
Haven't seen Crescius Corellius, have you? That fool. No, they don't exactly grow on trees. I prefer. Look, if you see Crescius, tell him to give me that pickaxe back. The finest weapons and armor.
Sell that stuff here. I can sell it here though.
Want to buy anything? See for yourself.
Stuff because I can disenchant it.
If you need any supplies, you know where
I don't anticipate that we will be on Soul's time for very long because
not much contact.
it's dangerous here.
You lost.
As the wife, you look able to venture outside of town. A few months ago, I had sent an important folio. They sent it back to me recently, but it never arrived. Yes, the damn thing sunk right off the coast. One of the sailors survived. Poor thing. Before he died, he told the Redoran Guard about the wreck. And thank you. You have no idea how much it hurts losing such a precious heirloom.
So I kind of view Wulfric as like a lawful evil. Evil basically just in the sense that he is a vampire, so therefore has to feed on humans. And he didn't mind kind of flaunting his, waving his political power around and his power as a vampire. And I'm sure he used his powers of seduction to. Ooh, that sounded weird. Meaning specifically like the vampire seduction ability. I'm sure he used that to, get ahead in his political career. But he's not just an out and out psychopath. I don't even really think he's a sociopath. He just, by nature of being a vampire, he is evil. It happens. And again, he doesn't mind helping people, especially people in a position of power. Because he knows that eventually it will allow him to make some moves. So I think for him becoming Thane in some of the holds is definitely a possibility. And obviously anything with Castle Volkihar will be done. Okay, here's two of them dead. Some of the higher level ones I may have to use my seduction power on. Yeah, Wulfric is very smart. He's not gonna just see, like, he's, she said that there was a shipwreck and it crashed, so he's thinking in his head, okay, maybe there's a hole in the bottom of the ship that he can get in. There's not, but he was hoping maybe there would be. Meanwhile, it also gave him a chance for his magic to come back. Which it is nighttime, luckily. We'll be doing a lot of this playthrough at night, I imagine. Okay, where are the Reavers? That Reaver Lord is he's a little spicy. That'll work. Increasing our magicka, and we will be increasing our destruction mastery. We'll be taking raw power, and then augmented frost perks as well whenever we get there. I also see this as a character that will eventually be using magical means to pick locks. Take all the things we can sell. Found an ancient Nordic pickaxe. You want that one? Okay. Okay, that chest is an adept block. I don't think it's going to be worth it. The juice, I do not believe, is worth the squeeze. And see, we find a potion of thaumaturgy. So we are going to take that. And our, see what it says for vampire. Yeah. Increased it by 24 hours. Feeding, I believe, gets you levels, and again, just progressing in time. This is a character that I have honestly had in my head for a while, and was going to play on my own, but I just never got around to it. I'm not messing with those guys. They will 100% kill me, so just go into the water. Get away from it. Like I said, he's very, very smart, very tactical. Although, I was kind of killing those reavers pretty early. We are on expert, so I guess not that early. Quickly, I don't know why I said early. And now everybody's gone. And he, of course, does not have to sleep. Which, if you know, that's a pretty good thing here. So we'll just sit here and wait.
I'll give you this warning only once. Stay out of my way, and we'll do just fine. I will. Tomoko, you got a problem. You talk to him.
Want to buy? Take a look. Mining here? No. How? It's an amulet. They gave. They're no longer being made, so they've become a. Well, here's your coin. Keep bringing me more, and I'll see for yourself.
Coin for each East Empire pendant is pretty nice. Got enough gold that we can move on to Skyrim.
I trust you're not planning any trouble. What can I do for you, friend? Yes.
As the wife to the second, you have? You have no. Well, you've certainly proven your worth around here to me. Please, accept this gift as a token of my
Ooh, a
appreciation.
ring of minor destruction. All right. The juice was in fact worth the squeeze. wonder if you can turn this ancient Nord pickaxe into him.
They have huge arsenals of
Fine. Glover Mallory's the name. If you're looking for a smith, you found one of the best.
Yeah, whatever, we'll keep it. Let's come down here, see if we can pick the lock on the... Play these. Somehow sense those. I don't... You know, some sort of vampire ability or something. I don't know. There's one in here too. I'm just gonna get the money before we leave. I mean, no point in not.
damn ash.
If we can get it open. Which I don't know if we'll be able to or not. He's already gotten in good with the counselor's wife, and he, you know, he's, like I said, he's old as hell. He's smart. He's well read, so he knows how dark elf political structure works. So he knows he's in a pretty solid place, and he does want to help the town blacksmith because it's another person to be in good with.
This is House Redoran territory. You do well to remember that. Keep moving.
I thought about trying to
Not much contact with others around here.
eat him, but
Skull village to the north. The Nords there keep to themselves. If you need a ride back to the mainland, Cowie's the only way off. Head over to the wretched. Come on in. Just stoke the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out.
almost all the way to the lockpicks left, so this is probably going to be the last one we're able to. There we go. Try for some of the others, but would he have a companion? I think he would, and
The best swordsman in all Morrowind. Then let's be off.
again, he knows he's weak, so I think having a
Right behind you.
having an accomplished swordsman and would go a long way for him. And again, he's trying to increase his power, so having more allies is definitely good for him.
Believe I've been stuck here.
Damn ash.
Plus, we're gonna get that money back anyway, selling. Yes, damn. I wish this was like Fallout, or I could just have a companion unlock stuff for me. Oh, we're out of lockpicks. Okay, we tried.
Has Captain
Come on,
Falcon
children.
discovered anything yet?
I do see a future where this character becomes extremely powerful.
I the first ship off this. Everything I've got on display, really.
No, not trying to sell.
You're making my buyer happy. Keep them.
There's
See for
1,500 gold, easy, right there. And I know where a couple more are, but I gotta have lockpicks. And unless he sells some, he has a lockpick. Well, we'll take it, I guess.
Need any supplies?
And I don't think we'll have any situations where we're just like out of things to do because
To leave me be. Who in the blazes are you? Can't you see I'm busy? Why should I tell you? I don't even know who you are. Why should I tell you? I don't even know who you are. Ask most of the folks around here, but mark my words. A secret? It killed my
I
great-grandfather.
also think respect is a pretty big deal to him. So he's not going to take,
The East Empire.
he's not going to take shit like that lying down.
I found an unsent letter. It described the East Empire Company must have felt it was. It is. Well, I assume it is. I don't care what you or anyone else thinks of it. I'm telling you, there's something. Look, time's my enemy. I do. Grishin kept a joke. Here's everything I have. The letter, the key. The damn... I'll bet he stole it from the Skald in the first place. Oh, very well. Here. Tell him I hope he drops the thing on
Why
his
you're
foot.
leading Cretius on, I'll never understand.
Mine can be treacherous.
Like I said, he wants to help the blacksmith. It's a good person to be on good terms with. Well, there goes that lockpick. It's okay. We got the 1,500. We've got how much gold? 3,000. Kind of acquiring wealth, I think, will be pretty important for.
Always a pleasure to watch when a man like you
Find my pickaxe yet? So, tell you what. Now that you... Besides, that pickaxe hasn't done me any... Looking to protect yourself or deal some damage?
Luckily, while he was trapped in the ice, this probably could have. Can you really not sell those things?
Bring your weapons and armor to...
That's odd. I like how they're two different ones as well.
Right.
They're like both marked as quest items somehow.
Take a look.
See if he has anything we need. Anything enchanted that would be nice to have. We got our Ring of Destruction. Would be bad. Been nice to have earlier. We can afford to splurge a little bit. I think he's fairly fond of this guy. He's, trying to make his way. Okay, we just can't sell those things for some reason.
If you need any...
That will help. Yeah, a lot of this game will be a lot of this character will be done at night. I think Teldrin, there's a good opportunity. Teldrin will be doing a lot of the forward fighting once we're
Seeking passage to Windhelm? Do you have enough coin? Casting off.
Yes, I've got enough coin. So we got a couple of nice little enchanted items for our work there. But I do think this is not right there because that guy's too close. I do think this is a good spot to leave off this episode. I think obviously he's familiar with Skyrim. He's lived here forever. I think he may look to do some things in Windhelm. Again, like I said, the whole purpose of his for right now is he's got to get more. He's got to get stronger. He knows that. He can't afford to go marching back to the vampires. And, go marching back to Castle Volkar and take it this way. No way. Also, he does not have access to his Vampire Lord form right now. He's got to get stronger, and that may even be just he's got to get, he's got to let Harkin give it back to him. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you are excited for the continuance of this character. I will see you in the next one. This is Friar Chuck saying bye-bye.